Hello and welcome back to Football Manager 2020 with AFC Bournemouth. We are at the start of Season 2. We're having a look at the finances page for two reasons. Number one, it doesn't give anything away. And number two, it shows that we still have £90 million in our transfer budget. That's because we've sold £153 million worth of players and only bought £52 million. We've had a big summer. First up then, leaving the club is Begich, who has signed for SC Freiburg in Germany. He wasn't playing for us, obviously he was out on loan at Qarabag at the start of the season, came back in January, didn't play a single game for us, gone for £800,000, which is a good bit of money. For £4.3 million, Rennes in France have managed to pick up Junior Stanislas, which I'm perfectly honest, I think is too much money for him, but the board still think it wasn't enough money. I don't understand. For £7.25 million, Vitesse in Holland have picked up Harry Arter, the Irish central midfielder, was out on loan at Fulham last season. Cardiff, the season before that, was never going to play for us. We've got a decent amount of money for him. Into double figures, and Adam Smith has left the club, signing for Newcastle for £10 million. Now the first of our main players, I guess, to leave, Josh King, the Norwegian striker, has left the club, signing for Lille in France for £12 million. He's already played once for them and scored twice. So yeah, Josh King has left. Don't worry, we've replaced him. Ryan Fraser, who spent last season out on loan at Everton, has left and signed for West Ham. It wasn't as much money as I was hoping. That's not the right place I want to click there. For 18.25, potentially rising to 20 million. He's never going to play for us because we don't play wingers. Newcastle have also signed Dominic Solanki from us, and this is just ridiculous. £40 million. £40 million for Dominic Solanki. He's 22 years old, so he's got a fair few years left in him, but £40 million, you cannot turn that down. And the big one, Nathan Ake has signed for Arsenal for £60 million. I was hoping to get a little bit more from them. They basically just stiff-armed me and said, nope, 60 million, that's your lot. And I went, you know what? £60 million, we can reinvest big time with that, and we have done. Starting in reverse order, free transfer, Ethan Galbraith from Manchester United. He was signed by my head of youth development, don't know why we did it, but he was free. Next up is Nathaniel Cline, the Adam Smith replacement, joining from Liverpool on a free transfer. He's out of contract at the end of the season, had no club, and I thought, you know what, he'll do a job for us. He's still only 29, got a couple of years left in him. He's worth £20 million. For £1.1 million, I have dipped into one of my previous saves and signed Luka Zahovic from Maribor. He's very cheap. £1.1 million is very cheap for a player who scored 50 goals in 72 appearances for Maribor over the last, 3 or so years? I mean, he's not going to play a huge amount. He's a squad player. He's okay. He's still got a few years left in him. He'll probably play a few games because we don't have a massively in-depth sort of backup squad. Next up through the door is 21-year-old Danish central defender and central midfielder Victor Nelson, signing from FC Copenhagen. We've paid not a huge amount for him, £3.2 million, which is actually less than what Copenhagen paid for him. I've brought him in because I want him to be a backup for our defensive midfield role. It's a position that we've rotated a lot around with players like Billing, Lerma, and also Fofana. But I'm thinking if we can get this guy trained up early enough, he'll just do the job and he'll be our number one central defensive midfielder. Next up for £4.2 million is Peruvian central defender Luis Abram. He was actually signed in January. I'd say January, about February time, just after the window closed, because I was expecting to lose Steve Cook. I haven't lost Steve Cook, but I have signed Steve Cook's replacement in Luis Abram. He's 3.5-star current ability, 3.5-star potential. I think he's bloody good. For £4 million, I think he's bloody good. Now, a player who was brought in for his versatility, it is Caspar De Noir from KRC Genk in Belgium. He is signed for £8.5 million there or thereabouts, 3.5-star current ability and potential, but I've brought him in because he can play on both wing-back positions, and we've already spotted that wing-backs are massively overpowered, so I thought, let's basically just buy someone who's really, really fast and see if he's any good. Now, one of the two main attractions of the summer transfer window is 20-year-old French central midfielder Michaela Croissants, a player who I did actually have a couple of years ago in one of my previous saves. He is signed from Bayern Munich for £20 million, or is it 15 million? £15 million. That's it, no additional costs, no nothing. He is a wonder kid, he's only 20 years old. Him and Lewis Cook in the middle could be amazing. I'm going to get him trained up as a box-to-box midfielder. The only thing is, he can't really finish. I'm sure he'll learn. And the replacement for Dominic Solanki, and Josh King, I guess, is Odsonne Edouard, who is a player that I suspect quite a lot of people who are playing Football Manager are signing. It's either him or Erling Haaland. Edouard has joined from Celtic for £20 million, which is probably too much money, but he's bloody good. 45 goals and 86 appearances for Celtic over the last 3 years, 2 years, something along those lines. He's only 22 years old. I think he could be superb, especially playing alongside Callum Wilson, who is also still at the club. We're not done talking about transfers. We've also got a couple of loan deals to mention. Joe Willock from Arsenal has signed on loan until the end of the season. He's in as an impact sub. He's getting paid a lot of money, which is a bit strange, but he's basically, I've brought him in, not as a central midfielder. He's going to be more that advanced playmaker, basically deputising for David Brooks if and when he gets injured, suspended, things like that. And also, Joshua Zirkzee has extended his loan deal for another season. Didn't really play a huge amount last year, but he was a good option to have. He scored 1 goal in 10 appearances. Maybe he'll get a few more chances this season. There was also a load of free transfers and loan deals that also happened. So Brennan Kemp has gone on loan to Oldham, Brian Glover to Fylde, Dinesh Galella has gone on loan to Walsall, who are one of our feeder clubs. Francis Vincent has left on a free. Sean Hobson leaving on a free. Emerson Hindman has left on a free for Toulouse. Tyrrell Hamilton, I think he said Hampton. Tyrrell Hamilton has signed for Barnsley on a free. Corey Jordan, who scored his debut goal against Tottenham in the last episode, has gone on loan to Walsall as well. Sam Surridge has gone to Sheffield Wednesday. Angel Gomez has gone on loan to Swansea. Mark Travers, the goalkeeper, to Burton, and Jack Wadham has gone on loan to Rotherham. So yeah, we've brought in a lot of money. Hell of a lot of money. 100 million just from Ake and Solanki. Then 20 million from Fraser, 12 from King, 10 from Smith, 7 and a bit from Arter, 4 million from Stanislas, £900,000 from Begich. So what do you think? What do you think of my transfer business? It probably, I feel like I haven't really bought the right replacements. Like, I haven't really bought an Ake replacement. But we do still obviously have Stefan Posch, who I signed in January last season, who I think has done bloody good since he's joined the club. Lloyd Kelly, who is also, he's a young prospect, played mostly as a left-back, but can also play as a central defender. And Chris Mepham, who obviously spent a bit of last season out on loan in Germany at Hanover. I think on paper, this is probably our best starting 11. Ignore the subs bench, I haven't done anything with that. So it will be Butland will be our number 1 goalkeeper. He's wanted, I think Liverpool were after him, but he's not going to go anywhere. Maybe January, Ramsdale might have stepped up by that point. Kev, Luis Abram, Posch and Mitchell Dix as the back 4. So a complete change over the course of one season. We've replaced all of our central defenders. Lerma, I'm thinking, would be that defensive midfielder with Cook and Croissants in the middle. David Brooks will be the advanced playmaker with Callum Wilson and Odsonne Edouard as the 2 strikers. But we do have lots of other options. Steve Cook, Victor Nelson, Chris Mepham. We've also got obviously Willock, who can play in the middle or as an attacking midfielder. Detor as well can play on either of the right or left back positions. Got a lot of options now. Also, Dan Gosling is injured for 5 to 7 months. So I was trying to sell him. Apparently, if he's injured, nobody wants to buy him anymore. Just having a quick look at the club vision. I mean, most things aren't going to have changed their performance. Club vision, match performance, things like that. We've already seen transfer activity, however, is obviously new. The fans are not happy with Cline. The board are happy with Cline. I'm assuming because he's not that great. So the board are actually gone for a C+ for our transfers. The fans have gone for a C, and again, it's because of this. I'm just not good at selling people. The way I sell players is just get them off the books. I don't want you here anymore, just get them off the books. So the fans, unhappy with Adam Smith, King, Fraser, Arter, all leaving the club. I think they probably hate Nathan Ake going as well. Yep, of course they do. And Dominic Solanki. So yeah, this is, to be honest, this is how it feels to be a Saints fan from about 3 years ago. I have just noticed though that the fans love the fact that we've signed Odsonne Edouard. B+. Because of obviously all the transfer business that has taken place, we're probably only going to have one match in today's episode, and yeah, it's Manchester City, isn't it? Do we have to play Man City? You know what? We're going to do highlights of Man City, and we're going to play Stoke. The starting lineup we're going to go for then for the first game of the season. In goal will be Butland, a back 4 of Dix, Posch, Cook and Kev. Fofana, Lerma, Cook and Brooks will be the midfield, and Luka Zahovic will be making his debut alongside Callum Wilson. I've decided against starting Luis Abram purely because I don't think it's a good idea to have 4 non-English speakers playing as part of the back 4. Having Steve Cook there, at least he can have a conversation with Jack Butland. 16 minutes in and Manchester City take the lead. New signing Lautaro Martinez with the goal. Sterling had, I think, 2 or 3 efforts, and then Lautaro Martinez with an open goal makes it 1-0. And it stays 1-0 at half-time. It's not been the most exciting games of football, which is good, because it kind of justifies the fact that I didn't show it. 50 minutes on the clock, and we are back on level terms, and it is Callum Wilson, our top scorer from last season, set up by Mitchell Dix in the middle. Wilson just taps it into the back of the net. I think we're going to be having a penalty. We are having a penalty. Mitchell Dix actually did a great tackle, but for some reason VAR has said it's a penalty. So it is going to be Fernandinho up against Jack Butland for Manchester City into the back of the net. It is 2-1. We've still got 20 minutes to play. Unfortunately, nothing comes out of the final 20 minutes. Not a single highlight either, by the way. Just goes all the way through to full-time. Manchester City 2, Bournemouth 1. Our first game of the season ends in defeat. I know we're only one game into the season, but that's the league table, just in case you're interested. Me, personally, as a Saints fan, end the season now. Just end the season now, top of the table. Champions, Champions League, all that jazz. It will never happen. Right, the proper match of the episode. Up against Nathan Jones's Stoke. How the world in Football Manager is very different to real life. Obviously, he's just been sacked in real life. Football Manager, he's managed to get them promoted. I'm assuming a lot of that is down to the fact I gave them, 15-20 million pounds for Jack Butland at the start of the save, which must have helped them able to strengthen. We're doing it. We're going for our best starting 11. Our predicted starting 11 from the start of the episode. In goal, it's going to be Butland, Kev, Abram, Posh and Mitchell Dix will be the back four. Jefferson Lerma as that defence midfielder. Lewis Cook and Michaela Croissants in the middle with David Brooks just in front of them. Odsonne Edouard and Callum Wilson will be the two strikers on the bench. We've got a very strong bench. Xerxes on there, Willock is on there, Steve Cook, Zahovic, Fofana, De Noir and Aaron Ramsdale. The reason why Croissants and Edouard didn't play in the last match, by the way, is because they were on international duty. I think they were playing under 21s. So, yeah, it was a bit of a pain because obviously against Man City, you kind of want your best players. Early highlights in the match, just a minute on the clock. Luis Abram, the Peruvian, to Jefferson Lerma. His fellow South American plays all the way back, though, to Jack Butland. The England goalkeeper, Jack Butland. Stefan Posh, forward, finds Mitchell Dix on that left-hand side. Is he going to go backwards? He's got two Stoke players for company. Loses out to Etebo. Now, Thibaut Verlinden. He gets the ball forward, but intercepted by Stefan Posh. Luis Abram plays it across to Kev. We've had about 30 seconds so far of this highlight, and we've barely got out of our half. In fact, we played it back to Jack Butland twice in this highlight now. Butland's ball finds Mitchell Dix on the halfway line. He's just spread the ball all the way across to Kev on the right-hand side. Inch perfect pass. Cross in. Croissants is not going to get there. He's going to have to play it back to Mitchell Dix. Dix takes a number of touches, finds Callum Wilson. David Brooks is there, and his first goal of the season, just 2 minutes on the clock, puts us 1-0 up against Stoke at... Where does Stoke play? I nearly said the stadium. We're like, that's Sunderland. I literally have no idea where Stoke play. I want to say the Bet365 stadium. Is that the name of the stadium? Croissants with the corner after 21 minutes. It's towards the back post. The ball has somehow managed to get over the bar. I think it was a Callum Wilson effort that was saved from the goalkeeper. Croissant's corner comes in. Brooks doesn't quite get there, and Gregory can clear his lines. Now Jeffrey Schlupp gets tackled by Kev on the halfway line. That's probably going to be a straight red, isn't it? It's not. He gets away with a yellow. Throw in for Stoke by their own corner flag. All the way across now to Henry on the left-hand side. He's going to keep running forward. Gets past Kev. Kev needs to be careful. Jeffrey Schlupp, the signee, I assume, in the summer. Jack Butland makes a save. It's going to be a corner for Stoke. Schlupp must have signed in the summer because I'm pretty sure he played against us last season. Verlinden with the corner for Stoke. Headed clear by Jefferson Lerma. Number 10's closing it down, but it's not going to get there. Verlinden isn't going to cross the ball in. We're going to see a free kick instead from Verlinden. It's in the back of the net. It's Lee Gregory. What's happened there? To 29 minutes on the clock, Gregory leaps highest ahead of a very short defender or midfielder, or probably a striker, isn't it? And makes it 1-1 against Stoke. Throw in for Schlupp on the left. Henry, back to Jeffrey Schlupp. Is he going to cross it in? Plays it back to Henry instead, who does cross it in eventually. It's cleared by Posh to Brooks. Back to Luis Abram. Plays it over the top, finds Kev, who remember needs to be careful because of that yellow card. And with players like Schlupp and I think it's Rico Henry next to him, they're going to be trying to run rings around him. Schlupp gets the ball, keeps it in play, but loses out to Lerma. Now Kev. Kev just lumps it forward, tries to find Edouard, but can't do it. Lewis Cook does find Edouard with a header. Back to Cook. Lovely ball to Callum Wilson. He has to score. He doesn't score because it was kind of a one-on-one. We win a corner. Croissants takes the corner. It's towards the back post. Abram's there. Is not going to get it. Cook heads in. It's pinging about in the area, and now Etbo can clear it to Jeffrey Schlupp. He's got Kev and number 15, which I assume is possibly Mitchell Dix for company. Henry on the left-hand side, in the middle to Schlupp in the area. He gets tackled by Kev, and now can we potentially break with Callum Wilson? He's been pushed over by Danny Bart. It's going to be a free kick. 5 minutes left to play of the first half. We've got another highlight with Stoke on the ball. Smith to Sam Vokes, back to Smith. Tommy Smith crosses the ball in, headed by Kev. Schlupp, though, has the ball in the area and almost in the back of the net. Half-time then, it is 1-1. It's been, to be honest, Stoke have been the better side. So I'm going to be angry and say I'm not happy, and everybody listened. Looking at the match ratings, it's Kev and Croissants who are the two players who are struggling. Croissants obviously on his debut. Kev, I think he's just having Schlupp and Rico Henry just run rings around him. Somehow Schlupp's on a 6.4. How does that work? We have a throw with Kev. Jefferson Lerma plays it across to Luis Abram, who I think has done pretty well so far on his debut. Kev's going to get the ball in the area, tries to cross it in but can't get past Kevin Wimmer. And now Stoke can potentially break. Schlupp on the left-hand side, spreads it into the middle instead. Posh steals the ball away and Croissants can play it all the way back to Jack Butland. Butland's ball went out to the side to find Mitchell Dix, who still has it. It is now Stefan Posh. Lerma. Dix is making a good run. So is Callum Wilson. He's going to run into the area. Don't shoot. He doesn't shoot. He gets tackled instead. It's taken a deflection off of Kevin Wimmer. And David Brooks' effort goes wide for a corner. Croissants is going to step up for the corner towards the front post. Wilson is there. Posh should have just jumped. Posh should have jumped and he could have got that. Odson Eduard is going to be coming off for Luka Zahovic. We're also going to do Croissants off for Joe Willock. Do we do Dix as well? We'll do Dix as well. De Noir is coming on. All 3 subs after 68 minutes. Corner for Stoke. Woods takes it towards the 6-yard box. And Badu has made it 2-1 to Stoke. I'd say that was kind of against the run of play. We're going to lose to Stoke, aren't we? We are going to lose to Stoke and lose to Manchester City and we'll be bottom of the table after 2 matches. It's bloody Stoke. It's bloody Stoke. We've had 4 shots on target out of 12. I mean, there's not been a patch in between the end of last season and now, so I don't know why we've just stopped performing. Kev with a free kick for us. We've got 6 minutes to try and find an equaliser, and then ideally try and find a winner. Brooks with the ball back to Kev on that right-hand side. Crosses in. It's Lewis Cook, edge of the area. Back to Jefferson Lerma for some reason. Why do they keep playing it backwards? Willock, Lerma, loses out to Badu, and then the ball is cleared. Stefan Posh is going to keep it in play in front of the Stoke substitutes. Posh to Lerma just inside his own half. He played it back to Posh. What a ball that is from the Austrian to Callum Wilson. And oh my word, fix one-on-ones, please. We're going to lose to Stoke. We are actually going to lose to Stoke. Oh my word. Last season, we lost, 12 games? And 11 of them were against the top 6 and 1 of them was against Everton. This season, we've lost 2. 1 of them against the top 6 and 1 against Stoke. Not a good start. Well, it's the first time in Football Manager this season that I'm going to do this. You're coming in for training tomorrow. A few players reacted negatively. You just lost to Stoke. Shut up. Well, good news, we're not bottom of the table. Partially because there's teams below us who still haven't played their second game yet. And Stoke go top of the Premier League. And Callum Wilson's out for 2 to 4 weeks. Brilliant. That is going to do it then for this episode. 2 matches, 2-1 defeats. We are down in 14th place. I'm tempted, actually. I might go forward just to see what else happens. Actually, no, it doesn't make a difference. It's too early on. We're probably going to be, 17th, start our next episode. Or after this weekend, actually. I completely forgot. We have Europa League, don't we? When is the Europa League group stage drawn? Can we find out? Is that how we find out? It is drawn 28th of August. So, next episode then, we are going to probably play a Europa League group stage game, and Everton, maybe, or Arsenal. Can we not play some easy teams? I'm hoping, by the way, we beat Southampton and Norwich. We have to beat Southampton and Norwich. Thank you very much for watching this episode of Football Manager 2020 in the beta with AFC Bournemouth. If you did enjoy this episode, whatever, please do remember to leave a like. If you want to see more, hit the subscribe button, and please tell me in the comments what signings I've done badly. I'm assuming selling Nathan Ake wasn't the best decision.